Hello boys and girls, welcome to this presentation.
Today we're going to talk about Unit 1, Lesson 4, page 12 and 13. Problems. Question A. Look at an online magazine problem page. Do exercises A and B on page 7 of the workbook. Now when you look at this is an online magazine problem page in which they discuss problems and solutions for these problems. Now, you have to read this online magazine problem page and then go to the workbook on page 7 and answer the questions. You can pause the video to read it and then return to the questions. Now, open your workbook, page 7, lesson 4, problems. Question A. Read the problem section in the magazine blog on page 12 of your course book. Who has a problem? What is it? Write it in your own words. Now here we have Jill's problem is that you have to continue writing, talk about the problem, and use your own words. Talk about the problem and use your own words. I'll give you an example for the solution or an example for the answer here. I'll write some answers, but you have to use your own words. Joe's problem is that, for example, Jill's problem is that, for example, she is very shy. She is very shy. When you look at the course book, you can find a lot of problems that Jill has. And then you can write them here. Now let's move on to the next question. Question B. Now read both letters on page 12 of your course book and find the following. Before you answer these questions, you have to look at the course book, page 13. Page 13. Now let's go to the course book, page 13, question C. Question C. Read these problems. What do you think Aunt Sally will say to the people who sent them? Now here we have two problems, problem number 1 and problem number 2. You have to read them and then answer the questions. For this question, we will go back to it after we finish the workbook. Now let's go back to the workbook and answer these questions. Now, when you finish reading both letters, come here and answer these questions. Question 1. A word meaning frightened. A word meaning frightened. What do you think? Very good. Afraid. Question 2. A word meaning speak with difficulty. A word meaning speak with difficulty. The answer is stammer. Very good. Number 3. A word meaning the opposite of shy. A word meaning the opposite of shy. The answer is confident. Very good. Number 4. What to say to be friendly. What to say to be friendly. What are the things that you say to be friendly with other people? For example, very good, you say hello. This is how you start conversations with other people. Very good. Let's go to the next question. Question C. Read these problems. What do you think Aunt Sally will say to the people who sent them? Now, after reading these problems, you can answer with the way you want. Because Here we're talking about what do you think. I'll give you examples for the answers in question C. For example, you can answer by helping other people, giving them solutions for these problems. For example, the first letter, he can't, let's read it together. When we have exams, I can't sleep at night. Then I am very tired. When I get to school and I do badly in exams. Now, this is the problem. What do you think the solution will be? For example, I'll give you my solution. First of all, try to sleep early by finishing your homework early, maybe drinking a cup of milk, and next day you will wake up early and go to school and not do bad in exams. This is my solution for that. At the same time, think about what makes you sleep less at night, or what makes you wake up late in the morning. This is my solution for these problems. Let's look at problem number 2. A friend of mine is very lazy and never does his homework, or her homework, yes, on the school bus. She copies mine. I don't think this is right, but I have to give her my homework because she is a friend. The idea here is that she doesn't want to lose her friend. So she needs a solution that helps her friend, at the same time help her not lose her friend, because she thinks it's bad to say to people no. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy to say no to some people, especially your friends. Even if they're doing something wrong, sometimes you want to help them just to keep on with this relation. So my advice for you, try to work with your friend on answering her homework. Don't give her your homework, but open her homework and try to answer with her. That's my solution to the problem. You can make your own solutions. At the same time, try to think about how other people think about it. Question B. What do you think of each piece of advice Aunt Sally gave Joe? Is it very good? Good? Not very good? Is there any other advice you would give Joe? Explain why. Now this question is asking about the advice that Aunt Sally gave to Joe. Now this is about you. What do you think? You can do it by writing a paper about the advice that Joe took from Aunt Sally. Now after you write your advice or write your opinion about Aunt Sally's advice, you can write other advices that you can give to help more with the problem. Yes, very good. Question D. Sally has made some notes on the problems. Read the notes and answer these questions. These are the notes on the 2 problems. Sally made these notes about the 2 problems. You can read the notes, stop the video, and then come back and answer these questions. Now let's start with the questions. What do these mean? ETC, HW, EG, V. What do you think about this question? Very good. These are abbreviations. For example, ETC means what? Very good. To answer this question, I'm gonna write it here, okay? What does ETC means? ETC means, very good, etc. Very good. And etc. means what? It means to the end, or it means other stuff. For example, if you're talking about things, for example, to buy, I want to buy a house, a car. If you have a lot of money, I want to buy a house, a car, a shop, a boat, etc., etc. It means to the end. I can't stop. You know, when someone asks you if you like vegetables, if you like fruits, what do you like? I will tell them that I like bananas, I like apples. What else? What do you like more? I like bananas, apples, strawberry, etc. I can't like say them all because there's a lot of fruit and there's a lot of vegetables that I can't talk about. So I say etc. It means to the end. Very good. Now HW means what? HW means, very good, homework. Good job. EG. EG means what? Very good. For example. For example. And the last one is what? V, which we took in the first lesson, means the first lesson was a verb, but here what did she mean by V? V, she used it here. V, unhelpful, so she means very. Very good, she means very. Now let's go to question 2. How are notes different from sentences and paragraphs? What do you think the difference between a note like that and a full sentence or a full paragraph? Very good. Most notes that people take have short words like these. They mean by them to use a word, but they are short. So you can't have, and they don't have full sentences sometimes. They don't have full sentences, and some words are missing, and there isn't any correct punctuation. So the difference between the notes that we take all the time and the sentences or paragraphs that we write is that the notes that we take have a lot of abbreviations like these, and short words sometimes. Sometimes we don't write with the correct spelling. Sometimes we write like words very fast. We mean by them that we understand the thing, but we don't want to write the full word or the whole sentence. And sometimes we don't use the correct punctuation. So these are the differences between taking notes and writing paragraphs or full sentences. Very good. Now question E. Do exercises C and D on pages 7 and 8 of the workbook. Let's go back to the workbook and answer these questions. Question C. Now read the 2 problems on page 13 of your course book and use Aunt Sally's notes to write her advice. Write 1 paragraph to each person. Now, these are the answers for the questions that we had in the course book. You have to write these again in the workbook. You can use the Aunt Sally's notes. These are Aunt Sally's notes. You can use them to write 1 paragraph to each person. You can do this by yourself. It's not hard. I'll give you some possible answers you can use. For example, you can come here and write work hard all semester don't work too hard before exams. This is one of the examples that you can use to write Aunt Sally's advice. Now, this is one of them. You can finish the rest on your own. Now, I'll give you another example for the second one. You can start it like this. I agree. It's not right. Look at the difference between this, and these. In this one she said agree, so she didn't write I because she knows that she means herself. And here, not agree, not right. She missed the pronoun because in notes we don't have to use the punctuations, we don't have to use all of the pronouns. Sometimes we know what we're writing on the notes and we know that we're going to use it when we write a full paragraph. Anyways, very good. Now you can continue doing this on your own and then show it to the teacher. Now let's move on to question D. Question D. Read these problems. Use Aunt Sally's notes to write her advice. Problem number 1. I stammer when the teacher asks me a question. I feel very embarrassed. The notes say, count to 5 before you speak. Look at this. She didn't use the whole word speak. She only used SPK. Think about. It's about. Very good. What to say? Ask your teacher to help. She'll understand. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to take these notes and write them fully here. And then show them to the teacher. Look at problem number 2. Problem number 2. I cannot remember new words in my French class. Let's look at the note that Aunt Sally wrote. Write words in groups in your vocabulary book. Very good. For example, names of food, buildings, clothes. Ask for help. Learn 5 new words a day. As you can see, the note can help you write a full paragraph. That's what I want you to do. Use the notes, write the paragraphs to finish this question.
Thank you for watching. See you next time.